Did you know? Butternut squash is a relatively new variety. It was developed in the early 20th century and quickly gained popularity due to its sweet taste and versatility. This humble vegetable, with its tan exterior and vibrant orange flesh, is a true culinary chameleon. Don't let its simple appearance fool you. Butternut squash can be transformed into a multitude of dishes, from sweet to savory and everything in between. Its versatility knows no bounds, making it a welcome addition to any kitchen. It's not just delicious, it's also packed with nutrients. Whether you're a seasoned cook or just starting out, butternut squash is an ingredient worth exploring. Proper storage is key to enjoying butternut squash at its best. A whole, uncut butternut squash can be stored in a cool, dry place for several weeks, even months. If you have a root cellar, it provides the ideal conditions for long-term storage. The cool, humid environment helps the squash retain moisture and prevents it from drying out. If you don't have a root cellar, a cool, dry place like a pantry or basement is the next best option. Avoid areas with high humidity or fluctuations in temperature. Check the squash periodically for any signs of spoilage, such as soft spots or mold. Avoid storing a whole, uncut squash in the refrigerator, as the higher humidity can shorten its shelf life. Once you've peeled and cubed it, you can store the squash in an airtight container in the refrigerator to prevent moisture loss and bacterial growth. If you need to cut it in half and store it, wrap the cut ends tightly in plastic wrap to prevent drying out. Stored properly, cut butternut squash can last for up to a week in the refrigerator. To prevent browning, toss the cut pieces with a little bit of lemon juice before storing. One of the things that makes butternut squash so appealing is its versatility in cooking. Whether you prefer your squash sweet or savory, there's a cooking method to suit your taste. Roasting brings out the squash's natural sweetness, while boiling creates a tender texture perfect for soups and purees. Steaming preserves nutrients and color, while sautéing adds a bit of richness and depth of flavor. And of course, you can always puree cooked butternut squash into a smooth and creamy base for sauces, soups, and even desserts. Let's take a closer look at the different ways to enjoy this delicious and nutritious veggie. Roasting is arguably the most popular way to cook butternut squash, and for good reason. This method brings out the natural sweetness of the squash, making it a favorite in many households. The process is simple yet transformative, turning a humble vegetable into a gourmet delight. The dry heat of the oven caramelizes the squash's natural sugars, resulting in an incredibly tender and flavorful dish. The edges become slightly crispy, adding a delightful texture contrast to the soft interior. This caramelization process enhances the squash's inherent sweetness, making each bite a burst of flavor. To roast butternut squash, start by preheating your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature is ideal for achieving that perfect balance of tenderness and caramelization. Make sure your oven is fully preheated before you place the squash inside to ensure even cooking. Peel and cube the squash, removing the seeds and stringy pulp. This step is crucial for achieving a uniform roast. The cubes should be roughly the same size to ensure they cook evenly. Removing the seeds and pulp not only improves the texture, but also enhances the overall flavor of the dish. Toss the cubed squash with olive oil, salt, and pepper, then spread it out in a single layer on a baking sheet. The olive oil helps in the caramelization process, while the salt and pepper add a basic seasoning that complements the natural flavors of the squash. Spreading the cubes in a single layer ensures that each piece roasts evenly and gets that desirable crispy edge. Roast for 30 to 45 minutes, or until the squash is tender and slightly browned on the edges. The exact time can vary depending on the size of your cubes and the specific characteristics of your oven. Check for tenderness by piercing a piece with a fork. It should go through easily. The browned edges are a sign that the sugars have caramelized perfectly, adding a rich depth of flavor to the dish. Enjoy your roasted butternut squash as a side dish, or incorporate it into salads, soups, and grain bowls for a nutritious and delicious meal. While roasting is a fantastic way to cook butternut squash, don't overlook other cooking methods. Roasting brings out the natural sweetness and creates a caramelized exterior that many people love. However, there are times when you might want to explore other techniques to bring variety to your meals. Boiling is a quick and easy option, perfect for when you need cooked squash in a hurry. This method is especially useful when you're preparing a large meal and need to save time. Boiling butternut squash is straightforward and requires minimal ingredients. Simply peel and cube the squash, then boil it in salted water until tender. The boiling process usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the size of the cubes. Once boiled, the squash can be mashed, pureed, or added to soups and stews for a hearty texture. Steaming is another healthy and flavorful way to cook butternut squash. This method preserves more of the squash's nutrients compared to boiling, making it a great choice for health-conscious cooks. Simply place the cubed squash in a steamer basket over boiling water and steam until tender. Steaming usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes. The result is a tender, flavorful squash that can be used in a variety of dishes from salads to side dishes. For a quicker and more flavorful option, try sautéing. This method allows you to infuse the squash with additional flavors from herbs, spices, and other ingredients. Heat some olive oil in a large skillet over medium heat, then add the cubed squash and cook, stirring occasionally until tender and slightly browned. Sautéing typically takes about 10 to 12 minutes. You can add garlic, onions, or even a splash of balsamic vinegar to enhance the flavor. This method is perfect for creating a quick and delicious side dish that pairs well with a variety of main courses. No matter which method you choose, cooking butternut squash can be a versatile and rewarding experience. Each technique offers its own unique benefits and flavors, allowing you to enjoy this nutritious vegetable in many different ways. So next time you're in the kitchen, don't hesitate to experiment with boiling, steaming, or sautéing to discover your favorite way to prepare butternut squash. Butternut squash has a naturally sweet flavor that lends itself well to both sweet and savory dishes. So, how do we enhance this natural flavor and take things to the next level? For a touch of added sweetness, try roasting the squash with a drizzle of maple syrup or honey. Sprinkle on some cinnamon or nutmeg for a warm, comforting flavor. Savory preparations can benefit from herbs like rosemary, thyme, and sage. For a bit of heat, try adding a pinch of chili powder or cayenne pepper. Butternut squash's versatility extends to its ability to pair well with a wide range of other ingredients. In sweet dishes, it pairs beautifully with apples, pears, cranberries, and pecans. Savory preparations can benefit from the addition of earthy mushrooms, hearty greens like kale and spinach, and tangy cheeses like goat cheese and feta. Protein pairings are equally diverse, ranging from chicken and pork to lentils and chickpeas. Experiment and find your favorite ways to incorporate new ways to enjoy this versatile and nutritious vegetable. Beyond its culinary versatility, butternut squash is a nutritional powerhouse. It's an excellent source of vitamin A, which is essential for maintaining healthy vision, skin, and immune function. Butternut squash is also a good source of vitamin C, a powerful antioxidant that helps protect against cell damage. Additionally, it provides a good amount of potassium, a mineral that helps regulate blood pressure. The fiber content in butternut squash aids digestion and promotes feelings of fullness, making it a satisfying addition to any meal. While often associated with fall, butternut squash is actually available year-round at most grocery stores, making it a versatile ingredient for any season. In the cooler months, it shines in hearty soups, stews, and delicious risottos. During the warmer months, it can be enjoyed in lighter preparations like fresh salads, slaws, and even grilled kebabs. So next time you're at the grocery store, pick up a butternut squash and let your culinary creativity run wild. Happy cooking!